You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome back to The Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW at the Saturday, October 26th show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
It's a great day to talk about money, and that's what the show is all about, how to make money, save money, so you can have a better quality of for your life for you and your family. If you're listening to our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. We're here to connect you with the guests that we have on the show. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. In studio right now, we have Kari Haas of Windermere Real Estate, and we are talking about real estate
goals for the new year.
I got it. And we're talking about real estate goals for the new year starting now. Kari, thank you so much for coming back in studio.
Thanks so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here with you.
And your beautiful smile. I wish everybody could see that. And a little bit about Kari. Kari exudes a passion for real estate that carries through every client, whether you're a buyer, seller, or both. Kari's business practices are steeped with philosophy and commitment, honesty, integrity, and excellence while loving our clients and developing a strong team to produce the best results. Prior to becoming a manager broker, Kari owned her own graphic design marketing firm. And 6 years ago, Kari brought her leadership and business expertise, her keen attention to detail, and eye for beauty to the real estate industry, often exceeding client expectations and rising to the top agent in her office. Kari specializes in selling for more and buying for less while managing the process and providing support, guidance, knowledge, and education so that you feel confident from the beginning to end.
Well, Kari, it's an interesting time of year. The holidays are coming up. We got Halloween and then Thanksgiving and then Christmas and then the New Year. So it's always interesting with people in the real estate market in general. What are your thoughts? What should people be focusing on right now this time of year?
Well, there's a couple different things that I think are important to people. You know, one is they're just getting ready to do entertaining and invite people into their home. So they're really thinking about their own home and whether they love it and where they want to be next. So, you know, if you buy a house now, you can be in a home for the holidays. Or if you buy in December, you can move in after the holidays and have one last in your home.
One last hurrah?
One last hurrah. But I think another important point for right now is that you want to be thinking about next year and what your business goals are in general. Mm-hmm. So, you know, this is a big investment, your home. And so it is like a business decision. Mm-hmm. And you should look at your year and what your goals are and kind of make a plan for that, because there's different ways that you can maximize and leverage your money, and especially going into the sort of economy that we're in right now. I think it's important for everybody to kind of take an overview and decide, okay, what are we planning on doing? What are we going to be doing for the next 5 years? And, you know, looking at that strategically.
Yeah, and strategically is important whenever you're looking at selling anything, especially a piece of real estate. So let's talk about part of that strategic plan. In what type of repairs and things do you want to be thinking about if you're going to be selling your home before or even after the holidays?
Well, you know, obviously fresh paint and new flooring goes a long way, but, you know, you really want to be thinking how your kitchen is, you know, whether or not you would want to do something there to your kitchen and bathrooms. I think people really respond well to that. But, you know, we go into people's homes and give them a, you know, no obligation. We go through and let them know what things are important to do and what things are not going to bring them the return. Some people think that you really have to do, you know, a fancy kitchen, and really what you need is a good, clean, functional, serviceable kitchen.
Yeah.
And there's different ways that you can choose different things.
Yeah, and when you do, if you're doing an expensive thing, if you're not doing the style or that the buyer wants, then you're losing a lot of money in that process.
Right.
I mean, so if you want to be not put too much money into it because it might not be the taste of the person that's coming in.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that you need to, if you're going to be moving, you need to let go of what you like
Yes.
and kind of look at what the trends are and what the general public is looking for at
Yeah,
that time.
makes sense.
But we were just talking about going into the new year, and there's, besides your home that you want to think about what you're doing, there's also investment, and it's a really good time right now to be thinking about investment, and you would want to do the same sort of fix-ups to
Of
your
course.
investments and your
Yeah.
1031 exchanges as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of 1031 exchange and your finances, I know I've heard rumors of the excise tax rules changing in January 2020. It's kind of a big deal. What does this mean for the people now that are interested in buying and selling?
Well, for buying, not so much. They're going to have the excise tax change. So it really depends on what level you're buying at. If you're buying a home that's over $3 million, you're going to be paying more in January than you are now. If you're buying a house that is under $1.5 million, then you're actually saving a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
it actually is working out to the better good of the people for the most part.
Yeah.
The problem here is we have an awful lot of real estate that's over $3 million.
Yes,
Especially
we
you,
do.
Kari, of all people.
Exactly. Yeah, I know people were freaking out about that a little bit. And then, oh, wow, that when you actually do the math and the calculations, it's like, oh, I saved some money there. So, Kari, whether we're talking behind the scenes in the industry, there's a lot of conversation and things going on with a big change that's happened. But I'm not sure how much in front of the scenes or consumers, buyers and sellers know with the commission, because it's forever when you're selling your home, the seller is paying the buyers, the agent that's representing them, which is the listing agent, and then they're also paying the commission for the buyer's agent, or what sometimes they call the selling agent, because they actually brought the buyer which sold the home, and typical commission is 6%, so that would be 3% for both agents. Well, now there's something that changed because of some lawsuits that have happened, and it's different now. The seller doesn't have to pay both sides. So can you talk about that and how that's affecting the industry or consumers in this process?
So far, it hasn't really made a huge impact. It is just not required to give
Yes.
the buyer's agent their percentage. But what you're really doing there is, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Yes.
Because if you don't want to pay the buyer's agent, then, the buyer's agent, they do need to make money, and, they want to be paid. And so if the buyer is going to have to pay for that, well, then they're going to take that off the price that they're going to pay you for your house.
Yes.
And it's just not going to be as desirable. And you're also not going to have a buyer's agent who is, wanting to give your house a better review than, and it may be subconscious,
Sure.
but, it's really, it makes you more money in the long run. The
Yeah.
statistics prove that when you pay full percentage, even 2.5%. So if you're paying nothing, you're really, not going to get a lot of people showing your home.
Yeah.
And the more people that show your home, the better you do on price.
Of course, the better you do on price. And I know, there was just a lot of conversation. It was interesting because as soon as October 1st hit, nothing really happened. And so it kind of just all worked itself out.
Well, I think it's interesting for people to think about, okay, what are we talking about here? 3% on, $500,000 home is, $15,000. So you're trying to save $15,000, but you're really going to cost yourself more than that
Exactly.
$15,000 when the buyer has to come with that cash because they
Yes.
can't roll it into their loan.
Yes.
So that really becomes a problem and cuts down on how much that they can borrow. And I really don't think that it's going to make that much of a difference, because I think that savvy sellers are going to see that they still need to
Of course.
pay the same amount,
Yeah.
and that it's going to come
So
out of
it's
their
more
pocket
of
one way
more
or
of a
another.
disclosure thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the old adage never fails. You get what you pay for. That's just
Yep.
it always comes to that. That's,
does.
No matter what.
And it takes money to make money.
Exactly. Yeah. Death and taxes. Those are all just, So October brought some changes with FHA guidelines. Can you share about some of those changes and specifically how it's a little bit easier to buy and sell condos, specifically lots of changes in the condos market. Yeah.
Yeah, previously a condo complex had to be FHA approved, which means that they had to have really good financials. They have to have a low amount of delinquencies, which means that their homeowners are paying their dues and that it's a healthy financial situation, but it also means that there's a lot of hoops that have to be jumped through. And now FHA has made it easier and said, okay, well, since most condo complexes don't actually meet those guidelines, and it's making it very difficult for buyers who don't have a big down payment to purchase condos, and we do have lots of condos, they're saying, okay, now we're going to do spot approvals. And so they'll look at the condo itself and make a determination that way. So it's really opening up the market for people to be able to get those low down payment options.
It's a big deal because spot approvals were around before the financial meltdown. Then they took them away, and now they're finally coming back. And it's going to be a huge deal because, just like you said, there's low down payment you can do for conventional financing, but credit challenges, there's nothing to do except for FHA. So it is really going to open that up. So let's talk about the fall is prime time for applying for college, and many people want to see what options that they have to help with these higher college expenses. And how do you tie real estate into that, and how can real estate help with this, Kari?
Well, and that actually ties into what are your goals for this year for investing in real estate. If you want to purchase a condo or a home for when you have a child who's young or even before you have children as a means to pay for college, you still have your original investment. And you hopefully have a renter in there or somehow are gaining some income while that is going on. But even if you're paying a little bit or even, it's kind of a forced savings plan.
Yes.
And so in the 5 or 10 or 15 years until you need that amount of money, you have the equity to pay for college at that time, or your child can live in the condo or the home, or you can sell it at that point. But you still have your initial investment and you have college paid for. So it's really a great plan for people who are concerned about having that for their kids.
Yeah.
Kari, so tell us what's happening in your business here in the old luxury market. I know kind of the high-end stuff that you do. What's going on? I'm having a big party to showcase my new Alpha Construction luxury listing in Edmonds on November 7th, and I hope you'll join us to tour this amazing, thoughtfully built home and enjoy some cheese and fine beverages and, of course, prizes and giveaways. You'll get to meet the builder. It comes with tons of high-end finishes and treatments. It's got 25-foot soaring ceilings, motion-activated stairway lighting, butler's pantry. And I'd just love to see people come out and take a look at that. And we've got a lot of luxury listings coming on for this new year. I think that while people are thinking about investing and moving, that it'll be fun to see that. It's only 1.7, and it's really a luxury feel, so you really can't get that sort of quality over on the east side for less than, say, $4 million.
Yeah.
So it's really a fun home. And, I just want to thank you so much, Tina, and wish you and the listeners a happy holidays because I am really thankful to be able to be a real estate agent with Windermere and with your fine team.
Well,
So
you're
thank
very
you.
welcome, Kari. Likewise, we're very happy to have you here and hope to see you guys at the open house. If you can't afford to buy $1.7 million, you need to drop in because it's going to be a party. You can call the show for more information at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. Kari, thank you so much for coming back in studio. It's always a pleasure to see you and have a chat with you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Coming up next in the Money Hour, boost your website and grow your business. Jim Rosemary of New Tech Web Inc. right here at 1150 AM KKNW after this short break.